The Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission opens another chapter with the coming in of a new chairperson. Top prosecutor Michael Reza took oath of office today and made a pledge. So what does this mean for the country? What will the new chairperson and his team do differently, and what are the immediate objectives? Chigada gives us more in the following report.
I, Michael Reza, do swear that I will well and truly serve Zimbabwe.
New Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission chairperson, Mr. Michael Reza, has made a promise. Outstanding cases at the commission will be dealt with. He was speaking after the swearing-in ceremony by President Mnangagwa at State House in Harare today.
By virtue of the powers vested in me, do call upon you, Michael Reza, to take the oaths of loyalty and office.
I am going to ensure that no docket leaves ZACC unless it is complete, unless all the elements of all the crimes have been attended to. Then that way we have a fighting chance in securing a conviction. And once we secure the conviction, it therefore comes with the territory that the faith in people will have faith in the organization and also in the administration of justice.
This comes at a time when the fight against corruption will be critical for the development of the country. He takes over from Justice Lois Matandamoyo, who is now the Prosecutor General. His appointment is in terms of subsection 1A of section 254 of the Zimbabwe Constitution. It's a big task ahead. The new ZACC chairperson comes in with a lot of experience in criminal investigation and prosecution.
Fortunately, I was trained in asset forfeiture and money laundering. I went to South Africa, I went to Botswana, I went to Malawi, all taking training in that aspect. And that is something that is dear to my heart.
Will he be able to win the war against corruption? And what is his opinion on the current state of things?
We have issues of corruption. And you know what corruption does to a country. I've said this in other conversations. The only persons who can stop corruption are Zimbabweans ourselves.
The summary from the new ZACC chairperson is that no docket will leave their offices unless it has been completed. And he also added that the only people that can fight corruption are Zimbabweans themselves. For Certain Prime, I'm Chigada at State House.
We now cross over to legal expert Tinashe Mbala to discuss the new developments. Now, given Mr. Reza's background in criminal investigation and prosecution, what impact will he bring to the commission?
No, I've had the pleasure of working with Mr. Reza during his stint at Rotten Romachi's court, and I can say that he's a man who's about his business. He often makes very unpopular decisions, which is something that's needed in a position which is recently attained. You can't be populist in your approach, especially when you're tackling the issues relating to corruption. He has been involved in numerous high-profile cases, which has shown that he's got the capacity to take the heat from the public. So I really think he'll be a great addition to the Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission.
Now, Tinashe, ZACC is on record seeking prosecution powers. Do you feel the new boss will continue pursuing these powers, and will this help improve efficiency?
No doubt, as a former prosecutor, you would want to have such authority, but in my opinion, I don't think that would be the correct approach to prosecutions. I think even within the state apparatus, especially in the criminal justice system, there needs to be checks and balances between investigations and those who do the prosecutions. Prosecutors need to be unbiased. So the moment you have the same body involving itself in investigations, then having the burden of prosecuting, I think that may lead to incidents of injustice, in my opinion. I think ZACC should stick to investigations. And since with the addition of Mr. Reza, you'll be able to actually compile dockets that are of the quality that would secure convictions once they go to criminal court.
And now, before you go, catch and release is a buzzword among those who criticize ZACC. Is this criticism fair in your analysis, and how best can ZACC shrug off this tag?
I think the appointment of Mr. Reza is actually a step in the right direction for the Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission. You have a seasoned prosecutor who has been in the business of prosecuting for several years, and he is more poised to guide investigations in a manner that would lead to actual convictions at court. I don't think it's fair to say that people from the Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission are not are arresting people for the sole purpose of releasing them later. I think it must be understood that not all persons who are arrested end up being convicted. The burden of proof that's required for an investigation to happen and the burden of proof that's required for a conviction to happen are two different things. So I think a better output in terms of like investigative work from ZACC would actually result in a greater percentage of wins in terms of convictions at the criminal court. And the addition of Mr. Reza, who's a seasoned prosecutor there, will actually assist in ensuring that ZACC is more efficient in the execution of its duties.
Thanks, Tinashe, for that insight. Now, still at State House, President Mnangagwa has also sworn in Jessie Majome as the new Zimbabwe Human Rights Commission chairperson. Majome, who is also a former Deputy Minister of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs, takes over from Elasto Mugwadi. We give you more.
It's been a long, winding road for Jessie Majome. She has seen it all, the rough patches and the good ones.
It has been seen fit and proper to appoint Fungai Jessie Majome as chairperson of the Zimbabwe Human Rights Commission.
The former opposition politician has started a new mission, which appears to be a higher calling.
So help me God.
During her time in opposition politics, she did preach human rights with passion. More than any other time, the narrative must now be driven by the country objectively. Majome admits the subject has been highly politicized at the expense of the real human rights issues.
There is never anyone who can be in a totally delirious, 100% perfect state of happiness. There's an aspiration, a noble aspiration that we aspire to. So it would not be correct that we are perfectly all right, there are no human rights violations in Zimbabwe, or that there is no need for improvement. And it's the same everywhere in the world. Pick any country. It doesn't matter if it's the north or the south. So what I think is important and what I hope to do is that we need to de-link really the politicization, the global politicization of human rights, because human rights are really important. They're about the dignity and equality and freedom of each and every one of us.
The new Zimbabwe Human Rights Commission chairperson is very clear about the challenges that lie ahead. She says it's important to appreciate the history. It's important to understand the present, as the country must have a perspective on the future in as far as human rights are concerned.
The work that I will also do together with the Commission would be evidence-based. We're going to be objective. We are going to investigate honestly and openly all allegations of human rights abuses. But we're not also even going to wait to investigate, to wait for allegations. We're also, because our duty is to promote and to fulfill.
Majome says she is under no illusion as to their role. She says the country is not in a contest, but there is need to look into the mirror and be frank to improve the dignity of the people. For ZN Prime, I'm Govesh Gada at State House in Harare.
Konapo, ipapo pa ZN Prime, DSTV channel 294, the place to be.